While joining us to discuss this further is a long-standing opponent of hospital car park charges, Shannon MP from the Democratic Unionist Party. Good morning, Jim. We were speaking about this last week, and I can see both sides. On one hand, most people who work for private companies, for example, they often have to pay for parking. But on the other hand, it's not fair that patients should pay. So give us some of the pros and cons of hospital charging. Car park charges.
Okay, well, good morning, and thank you for inviting me on to make a comment on it. I'm very pleased to do so. Maybe when I look at the issue overall across the whole of the United Kingdom, I see very clearly the issues, but maybe I should explain it. In Northern Ireland, up and through the coronavirus, through the COVID-19, nurses had free car parking. And it was because we felt it was right, because they were under pressure, they were facing long hours, they were working longer hours than they actually were getting paid. They were facing very traumatic circumstances with patients suffering from COVID, and some who probably perhaps were not going to make it and didn't. So the pressure was clear. Over here in Northern Ireland, we prohibited charges for the whole of the coronavirus and COVID-19 pandemic as it was. There will be a hospital parking charges bill coming to Northern Ireland only, just to give you an example, but it won't be in until 2024, which will prohibit charges for nurses. Already, doctors get free car parking, and I understand that, and we all understand that doctors are on a different level. They're more qualified. They have a very strategic role to play. But we do suggest that nurses are part of that team that makes it all work. So therefore, they should be able to have help now. So in this short term, we don't have the help, and I'm very concerned. I've written to the Minister about it. I'm very aware that the car parking charges for the Ulster are. I watched in your programme there. There only are £4.50 per day for long stay at the Ulster, and £3.50 per day for short stay. But what is not part of this equation, which I think has to be, is the rising energy costs. For instance, a nurse from Portavogie in my constituency travelling to the Ulster Hospital was paying £45 for her fuel, is now paying £70 for her fuel. So that's an extra charge of £25. And for the car parking charges per week, it's between £15 and £20. They work 4 shifts for 4 days for 13 hours. So yes, okay. Those are the issues. So what is it right for nurses to have free car parking? It was okay through the COVID pandemic. I believe it's still and should be okay now. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Well, look, to be fair, I did a big rant, I think you could call it really, on NHS dissatisfaction. And actually, Northern Ireland emerges very well when it comes to actual satisfaction. So you guys are obviously doing something rather okay over there. So, you can't dig yourselves out for what you're doing hospital-wise. But I've got to be honest with you, mate. Why do nurses deserve free parking? I don't get free parking when I turn up to work. All right, okay, I don't save lives, don't get me wrong. But, I mean, it's not the point, is it? Most people do not have free parking at work.
No, they don't. But we recognise as a nation, as a government, I think everyone, we remember clapping for NHS every Wednesday night or Thursday night. We did that because we believed it. We also believed that the car parking charges should be free for nurses during that period of time. But we still have a crisis in the NHS, a crisis that will take some, I suspect, probably years to change and address the waiting list. So the crisis is there. The need for nurses is still there, and I think that we very, very much need to be supportive of them, because we're not out of the problems that we were before. So the point is well made. Should it be there for other civil servants? And so on. Well, we pay car parking charges where we are.
Yeah.
I make the point. I'll make this point in favour of some of the things that you referred to. Cancer patients, for instance, who are visiting terminally ill, they should be. They can claim for that the car parking charges, and I believe that is right.
But this is it, Jim. We currently have a situation where a bloke can drive himself to hospital whilst having a heart attack and has to at some point worry about, which is probably only going to increase his blood pressure, worry about how much he's going to pay in parking, but the nurse treating him won't have to. Just out of interest, Jim, very quickly, how much does it cost for a nurse to park their car in a hospital?
In the Ulster Hospital, it's $4.50 for a long day and $3.50 for a short day. That's in the Ulster Hospital. Maybe a wee bit more, maybe in the other hospitals, as far as the Royal Victoria, perhaps.
Fair enough. All right, Jim. Jim, I appreciate you coming on. Thank you very, very much. Really enjoyed that. And please come back on. Jim Shannon, Democratic Unionist Party MP. Thank you very, very much. Yeah.